The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And a good Friday afternoon to you, and yes, it is time for the McFarland Show here on National Sports Radio. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Really is.
Outside.
Beautiful.
Got a lot more rain yesterday than I thought we were going to get, at least from where I'm at.
Out there? Okay.
More south of town.
Sure.
Rutherford County. I didn't realize it was going to rain that much, but it made a pretty good amount.
Yeah, depending on where you were will depend on exactly how much rain you saw. If you were west of I-65, you really didn't see that much. If you were east of I-65, though, you may have gotten quite a bit more.
Yeah.
So
if you remember yesterday after the show, I opened up the curtains here in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio.
Yes.
And I was like, "Is this supposed to rain today?"
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
And I was like, "Man, it looks like it's." And of course, I'm looking due south where we are, and I'm like, "Man, it doesn't look good out there." And then basically it started raining on the car ride home and didn't let up through the night.
It was your companion all the way back.
It really was.
Down I-24.
But it was not today. Gorgeous day today.
It is.
This weekend is probably going to feel like fall for the first time. Temperatures are going to dip.
Yeah.
It's going to be cold overnight.
40s. And for those of you far east, beyond Wilson County, it could get into the 30s out that way.
Wow.
So, Watertown, places like that, it could get into the 30s.
As Will Ferrell said, boy, that escalated in a hurry.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Gone
we're
from 90 degrees.
Yeah, we're doing one of these
highs,
50, 60, degree swings here.
To 30s at night.
Yeah.
Hello.
Welcome to Middle Tennessee. It's time for 4 seasons, essentially.
No
4
doubt.
seasons in a day.
No doubt. Adam Johnson is alongside for the ride. You can watch our show until 4 o'clock on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. We're going to head down to Gainesville and talk with Pat Dooley here in about 15 minutes. He's been covering the Gators for a long time. And so we'll talk to Pat about Anthony Richardson and this Florida Gators team. Speaking of Anthony Richardson, we'll go to Indianapolis to begin the second hour. Learn more about the opponent for the Titans on Sunday. An opponent the Titans have beaten now 5 straight times. An opponent the Titans, at the last time the Titans lost a game in Indy at Lucas Oil, which I've been to. Nice little stadium.
Yes. I've been there as well, just not for a football game, but I was there for, other things.
It's much nicer than the RCA Dome.
It is.
Last time the Colts won a home game against the Titans, 2018. Do you know who was the quarterback that day for the Tennessee Titans?
2018. That would have been Marcus Mariota.
No.
He would have been on the team at least.
Yes, he would have been.
But if he wasn't playing, that means who the backup would have been at the time. It wasn't Logan Woodside because he never really got to play like that. So who was the backup in 2018 for? It was not no. I don't know.
Same quarterback also lost to the Colts here in a very, very important game. That should be your hint.
Oh, Blaine Gabbert.
Yes,
oh,
Mr.
man.
Gabbert. Mr. Gabbert.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, listen. I can start talking about Blaine Gabbert, but I'd rather not. I was having a good Friday so far.
I know.
I'd rather not get down the Blaine Gabbert path.
I'm just passing that along.
Yeah, rather, we can just pass the intersection, stop at that stop sign, and just keep going. We don't have to go down. We have to make that turn.
I was reading a Jim Wyatt tweet a little bit before the show, and Mike Vrabel has ruled out one Traylon Burks, one Tierre Tart, and one Luke Gifford for that contest on Sunday.
Boy, 3 contributors.
3 starters, yeah.
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 Jeez. Okay. So what is it this time? It's, because as we start going down the path here, and, the numbers will start adding up, but the injuries will start mounting up here again with this football team. And, this week it's 3 starters. So, last week it was how many? Just 2?
Well, by the way,
2 or
that's
3?
not. We don't know if Nicholas Petit-Frere is going to play. We don't know if Peter Skoronski is going to play, but it does look good for Skoronski.
Well, he didn't say out.
He didn't say out. No.
So,
nope.
If those are the 3 that he's ruling out, that means everybody else has got a pretty legitimate shot. So, but, again, that's rough. And if, Skoronski does not play, then again, we're going into this game, if you're the Titans, with only one of your last 7 first-round picks on the field.
Yep.
And it's tough to win games that way. You got to get something from these draft picks. And the first-rounders are supposed to be the blue chippers. And, they got to be able to get on the field for you.
NPF has practiced all week.
I think he's got to play.
I mean, it feels that way.
Yeah. Well, why have him practice all week?
So was Skoronski, by the way.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance both of them are going to play. So, and plus it's a physical game, as I've been mentioning all week. The battle with the Colts is a very physical type of series. You need bodies. You need people to go out there and take some of these hits and play. So, this is going to be part of it.
Traylon Burks is dealing with the knee, Luke Gifford with the hamstring, Tierre Tart with the toe. So Mike Vrabel ruling them out today. So, like I said,
the toe.
We will head to Indianapolis coming up at 3 o'clock. The Bears, how about that?
Hey!
Hello.
Bear down, Chicago Bears.
Go into Washington and just open up a can on the Commanders.
It's the spirit of Dick Butkus that came upon them last night.
Sad news.
Sad news.
We learned that after our show yesterday, but Dick Butkus dies at age 80. When I was a kid, I had a Dick Butkus poster in my room. I was not really responsible for that.
Sure.
It was more my father.
Yeah.
But I remember growing up with a Dick Butkus poster hanging on the wall.
He is iconic to a whole generation of people, even non-football fans. Remember, Dick Butkus because of his name, because of his acting, things like that. But the ferociousness in which he played the game of football. And I've been telling people all day, if you've just heard the name Dick Butkus, but you've never actually sat down and watched a Dick Butkus highlight film, just do yourself a favor and check some of that out. Just an absolute tyrant of a linebacker that set the standard, honestly, and I really do feel this way, set the standard for what middle linebackers became, for a whole generation. Really. I mean, would we have Ray Lewis without a Dick Butkus first? I don't think so. Mike Singletary, Lawrence Taylor, those guys who really, Junior Seau, put the emphasis on how to impact the game from a violent standpoint. Dick Butkus set the standard. He really did. So it's a sad loss.
Bears end a 14-game losing streak. 14
it's been
games
a while.
Dating back to last year.
I've been listening to some of the coverage out of Washington. They are unhappy. The fan base is unhappy.
Well, so was Magic Johnson, who is part owner.
Yes, he's also unhappy with the performance. And they are now calling for change in the coaching box. They're tired of Jack Del Rio, who's the defensive coordinator. And I'd never noticed this till listening to some of the coverage. They have given up over 30 points in just about every game they've played this year. So despite all the names on defense, and they've got plenty of names.
I know.
Sweat, Allen, Chase Young. They've got some guys over there who can impact the football. They can't really stop people when it counts. And, and for whatever the reason, they can't find anybody to cover DJ Moore, who I think is wide open again, even right now.
Have a night.
I mean, geez.
Have a night.
Somebody get on him. Put the cheerleaders on him. Somebody. Anybody. Go cover DJ Moore. Because he's open again. I mean, they could have set records last night.
230 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Jeez.
For DJ Moore.
And another one called back.
8 catches. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, highly impressive night for the Bears. Highly disappointing night for the Commanders. And that ship is starting to sail, and a lot of people are wondering if Eric Bieniemy is not going to get his head coaching shot in a few weeks at this rate if it keeps going like this.
Washington went from playing Philadelphia tooth and nail on Sunday.
Yeah.
Losers in overtime.
Yeah.
To just getting housed at home by the Bears.
Well, the other thing is the Bears were also kind of feeling the heat and the pressure to win a football game.
You think?
Yeah. It's been a minute.
14 in a row was enough.
So at that point, and they got beat by the Broncos after being up big in that game. They were up, I think, 28-7 or something.
They were up big, yes.
They were up big in that game and came back and got beat by a winless team last week. So they were feeling the pressure. So they came out with a little fire compared to Washington, and they showed.
The thing that's got to be really, really tough is for people in Chicago to go, why can't Justin Fields look like that every week? Like why?
Well,
where has that been?
Is he playing Washington every week?
Yeah, but Washington's not that bad, man. They're not the dregs of the NFL.
The point total that they've been giving up would beg to differ.
Washington was a 6-point favorite.
Well, somebody got that wrong.
Well, yeah. Clearly Vegas got that wrong.
The
odds makers clearly
they weren't
got
looking
that
at the
wrong.
right things with that one. No, that's not.
They were never in the game.
That's not accurate. No. So,
I'm just saying that is this is year 3 for him.
It is.
And it's the inconsistencies. And look, Chicago's going to have this really, really awkward window, which they're getting into right now. Like I said, this is year 3 that the New York Giants and others have faced. And it's like, what do we do?
Well, the Titans were in this window.
The Raiders with Derek Carr. Like, what do we do?
The Titans were doing this with Marcus Mariota.
Yes.
Just not too long ago. And the real trick about it is it's the split in coaches. So you get the coach and the GM who drafted this person are no longer here. You've hired a brand new coach and GM in year 2 or 3, and now they've got a very short window to make up their mind. It was Matt Nagy and company that took Justin Fields, if not mistaken. It was not this group. It certainly wasn't Ryan Poles, who's the current GM. It was the last GM who took Justin Fields. So they've got to, make up their mind about what they want to do and what kind of contract they want to offer him, or if they just want to start over again.
Well, and that's the thing. They've got Carolina's pick, so there's a chance if they're not good again, they could have remember the Browns when they had 2 picks in the first 4?
Yeah.
Right, and they took Chubb, and it was the
Garrett?
safety. No, it was the safety or the guy, the cornerback
from Florida, right?
Was it Denzel? Is that right?
It wasn't Denzel Ward.
Was it Denzel Ward?
Denzel Ward is
from Ohio State.
Denzel Ward went to Ohio State.
I think that was the 2 picks they had.
That could have been it. I'm not sure.
So they could have that, and that is going to be what everybody's saying. Quarterbacks are coming out. Chicago's going to have to make a really, really interesting decision. Do we stay put, or do we punt
on
Justin Fields?
Yeah. And tie up a lot of salary cap money into him as well, because you have to pay him too. If you keep him long term, you have to pay him. And if you're going to get a quarterback, this seems to be the draft to get one.
Right.
So if you're going to make a move, now is the time to make the move.
Because they just passed in this latest crop, and as we've talked about, it's still very early.
It is.
But so far, it looks like a pretty good crop.
Yeah. Well, especially, if he's been playing Justin Fields, has been playing the way he has been. Now, there's been a lot of talk about the fact they haven't really let him do him. So if last night was an indication of how he can be, then, now you may have something here. But, consistency is everything in the National Football League, and the league is not very consistent. So it's hard to make up your mind about what you're actually seeing, and what you're seeing, is that real or is that just for this week? And the answer is nobody really knows.
Well, I'm saying Justin Herbert the team was inconsistent. And the team has really been inconsistent the whole time he's been there.
Yeah.
But nobody blames Justin Herbert. You know what I mean? The difference is nobody knows what Justin Fields is. He's inconsistent. They've just done nothing but really lose.
Yeah.
And he's been inconsistent. Some weeks he looks like a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
And then for a month and a half, he completely disappears.
He can flash because he's got all the intangibles. He's got the big-time arm. He went to the big-time school. He can run and he can throw. He can sit in the pocket and throw. He can make all the throws. But, can he read? Can he look around? Can he, do the intangible things you're going to need him to do on a weekly basis to win football games? And can he carry the team?
Yeah.
And it showed he could last night, but, can he do it all the time? And that's what we don't know.
We'll come back. We'll head down to Florida. We'll talk with Pat Dooley. We'll do that next here on The McFarland Show.
Trusted for creative design and committed to both the function and aesthetics of your smile, Jody Jones Dentistry for 26 years has provided a wide range of general and cosmetic dentistry services along Nashville's Music Row and coming soon to Hermitage and Murfreesboro. The Nashville leader for cosmetic dentistry provides a unique luxury environment for patients who want his famous Hollywood smile. Just ask the country music stars, actors, athlete. Yeah, he was 8 years the dentist for the Predators who display his celebrity smile. To learn more, visit JodyJonesDDS.com or call 615-259-5100.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-898-6155 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-898-6155. That's 800-898-6155. What do you have to lose? Call 800-898-6155. Again, 800-898-6155.
Hey Nashville, join Joe Fisher and me, Jonathan Schaefer, this Friday night for the Mid-State Checkdown High School Football Game of the Week. On Friday, our matchup is the Fairview Yellow Jackets versus the Independence Eagles. Last Friday, our Mid-State Checkdown High School Football Player of the Week, presented by Jackson Boone Racing, was Lebanon High School wide receiver Key Crowell. He finished the night with over 200 all-purpose yards. Lebanon defeated Wilson Central 41-6. Our coverage of high school football will begin at 6:15 with Murphy Fair's Matchups High School Football Preview Show. Joe Fisher and me will go live from Independence starting at 6:45. It's Fairview versus Independence for the Mid-State Checkdown High School Football Game of the Week, powered by Jody Jones Dentistry, exclusively on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
40-45 midfield, 45-40, cuts back, he's got a chance, 30, 25, 20, 15, to the 10, to the 5, to the end zone, touchdown!
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way. Offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The 2023 TSU Tiger football season is in full swing. Get your tickets now to join head coach Eddie George and your football Tigers at home in Nissan Stadium. Join us for exciting games, including our homecoming battle with fellow HBCU, Norfolk State, all culminating with a meeting with OVC Conference foe Tennessee Tech on November 18th. Get your tickets plus parking and tailgating passes at tsutigers.com/tickets or call 615-963-ROAR, 615-963-ROAR.
You're listening live from the Strike and Spare Studios, downtown Music City. It's the McFarland Show.
Darren and Justin with you. We are the McFarlands. Rolling along here on this Friday afternoon. Don't forget our high school football game of the week tonight. You heard the promo. Joe Fisher, Jonathan Schaefer on the call. It'll be Fairview at Independence. 6:45 is when the coverage begins. Let's head down to Gainesville. He's been covering the Gators for a long time. He is Pat Dooley. He doesn't know Justin, but I was the one that was sitting next to him in the Georgia Dome when there was some really, really bad stuff happening outside called a tornado. Pat, I don't know if I've told Pat this before in the past. He does remember, but it was me, Pat, sitting next to you in the Georgia Dome during that Kentucky game. Was it Kentucky, right? Kentucky was on the floor? Or no,
I thought it was Mississippi State.
It is. You're right.
Alabama.
Kentucky, Georgia was the next game, correct?
Came on all of a sudden. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I think it was Kentucky, Georgia was the final game that evening.
Yeah, and that's the game that wasn't played, and then the next day everybody goes, well, all the Kentucky fans showed up at Georgia Tech, and they said, no, you can't come in, and that they were not happy.
No, they were not.
and then Georgia beat them, and that was just unbelievable. It's still one of the favorite events I've ever covered in my life, even though Florida was long gone. They kept me up there, so it was a lot of fun to cover that.
I got to be honest. That night was so awkward and so weird, and we decided to go live coverage, and they kept checking in with me there at the Georgia Dome, and I was there for a long time before we made it back over to the Media Hotel, which I believe was the Marriott Marquis at the time.
It was, yeah.
I just decided that the next
one of my favorite hotels in the world.
100%. I woke up the next day, Pat, and I said, you know what? Peace out. I think I'm rattled, and I'm going home. I'm going back to Nashville. And I came home.
Yeah,
I just said enough.
For that. I tell you what, I think if the Georgia story hadn't been there as a possibility, I don't know if I would have stayed there. But, they kept me there the whole time. I had a good time, though. It was great. And I remember being at after we walked through the carnage on Peachtree Street, getting to the Marriott Marquis bar, and at 3 a.m., they kept the bar open, but 3 a.m., we get a call saying, we're going to play at Georgia Tech, and I'm like trying to call my desk, and of course, this is the old days, so 3 a.m., there was nobody answering the phone. But I was like, I got a big scoop for you.
Yeah, things were a little bit different.
Call back at 7.
Yeah, that's right.
No doubt.
Call back when somebody's on the switchboard.
That's right. Before we get into this Florida Gator team, did want to ask you, because the Titans are going to be in Indianapolis. We're going to head up to Indianapolis next hour and talk to somebody who covers the Colts. You covered Anthony Richardson last year. You were around him. I've already admitted this week he seems to be ahead of schedule. The Colts seem to be ahead of schedule. He looks to be better than what we thought out of the gates. He's still very young, but you see the flashes that the Colts saw to draft him when they did. Are you surprised? Like, what's your analysis of watching Anthony Richardson through 4 games of his NFL career?
I'm not surprised with anything. I mean, this guy is an incredible athlete. He's in the argument for best athlete to ever play at the University of Florida. Greatest quarterback? No, he's not in that top 10, top 20 probably. I mean, he had trouble kind of figuring things out. And I think a lot of it had to do with his high school upbringing. Again, here in Gainesville, Eastside High School was not very good during his whole time. They didn't win. They never had a winning season. So that was a struggle for him, I think, to understand the importance of how big every game was. Now, that's why when people were talking about whether they go to the NFL or not, I was like, sure, he's going to go. He's going to go there because that is more like what he wants to do. So I'm not surprised that he's done well. I would say this. He's 4 games in. Let's wait till he's 17 games in before he decide on Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still got it's a long way to go. And, again, he got the concussion that held him out, and a lot of that had to do with because he, likes to run the ball. And the weird thing here at Florida was there were games when he just wouldn't run it. And a lot of people were in his ear telling him, don't run it too much because you may get hurt and you want to keep your draft. I think it got to be too much about where he was going to get drafted and not about what he was trying to do for the team currently. But then he would get mad and go, okay, I'm going to go run for 75 yards and a touchdown. Okay, well, it's too late now, but it's okay.
What's his makeup like? Like, what is he like? We're watching his skill set. We watched it at Florida. We're now watching it in Indianapolis. By the way, he made an unbelievable play to keep a play alive late in that Rams game last week for that 2-point conversion that very few quarterbacks can do. It's why he's got that special skill set. But what's his makeup like as a person, like a teammate? I've never been around him. You have. What's he like? What's his personality like?
He's a great guy. I mean, there is no, like, this is a guy who's arrogant or cocky or is full of himself. There's none of that. I mean, he's a good person. He's got good family. I think he just got put into multiple bad situations. I mean, Dan Mullen did not believe in him, so he wouldn't play him. And then all of a sudden he goes, okay, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to play him against Georgia. Let's see how good he is then. So that was his only start that year. And needless to say, it didn't go well against a team that was one of the best defensive teams in a long time. And then last year with Billy Napier, I mean, he would turn it on and off, and it was weird. But as a person, everybody loves him here. And people are still rooting for him because he was a good guy. He was a guy who would sign the autographs late. He was a guy who would show up for everything you asked him to. So there is no lack of love for Anthony Richardson here, even though he was a quarterback on a 6 and 7 team, basically. So they still love him here. And, again, being a Gainesville guy, I think it has it. But there's nothing wrong with his personality. It's just a matter of can he get in the right situation with the right offense that can take advantage of his skills. And the skills, as you know, are ridiculous.
Pat, I've been in Nashville for 25 years now, but I grew up in Lexington, Kentucky. We talked a lot about the Florida-Kentucky game last week, and when we make our picks on Fridays, I told my co-host Justin, yeah, dude, I've lived this game my whole life, and I remember when Florida beat them 31 straight years in a row. So there's no way I'm picking Kentucky to beat Florida. I get it's in Lexington, but I've lived this life, that game, my whole life. No chance, I believe, I'm going to see in my lifetime Florida losing to Kentucky football 3 years in a row. Well, we all know how that turned out, and now Kentucky's beat them 4 out of the last 6 years. How do you explain really not only losing to Kentucky last week, but really between Ray Davis running the football, they just were dominated. I couldn't believe that Kentucky was in control like that for an entire game. It's just something I didn't think I would ever see.
Well, you're in a majority, believe me. But the bottom line is they have a lot of fifth-year guys, six-year guys, and that have been in weight rooms for a long time, and they physically dominate Florida. Florida's got a lot of young players, and it's hurting them. And I'm not using it as an excuse. There's no excuse for getting manhandled like Florida did. They were manhandled. There's no doubt about it. But this is a different world. I mean, the bottom line is, if you ask me why that happened, I would go, Kentucky's gotten better and Florida's gotten worse. And Florida's got to find a way to get better. And I'm not sure what the answer is, but I know this. So far, Billy Napier hasn't been able to find that answer. He's been able to get it like every coach has since Urban Meyer at Florida. You're able to get it going, and then it goes away. And for some reason, they can't keep that mojo. Dr. Evil got into the cryogenic chamber and stole the mojo from the Gators. So, I mean, I just don't understand why they can't be good 2 weeks in a row, and that's the biggest problem. They're good at times. I mean, that win over Tennessee was huge. People were standing on their heads during that game. They were losing their minds, and then you come out and you kind of don't do great against Charlotte in the next game, and then you go to. But again, I think a lot of it is the young. They're such a young team, and some of these guys don't get it. I was told by somebody they had players ordering DoorDash White Castle at 9:30 at night the night before the game against Kentucky. You know what? You can't play if you got White Castle in your stomach 13 hours before the game. It's illegal, I think. but you're not going to play well. And certainly they look like a team full of White Castle.
Yeah, especially if you have a morning game. Not a good idea.
Yeah,
A team full of White Castle.
Well, that's a scoop. I have not heard that story. That is interesting. Last thing on my end. So you brought up Billy Napier. I know it's just year 2, but look, they got Vanderbilt this week, and I would suspect that's going to be a win. But the rest of the way, Pat, it is not exactly tiptoeing through the tulips. It is. There are some rough games still ahead. If Billy Napier can't get past that, like that 6-win plateau like they had last season, what's the feel down there about his future?
Well, I mean, it's not going to be decided this year. There's no doubt about that. I mean, he's going to have at least another year, and I think 4 years, because he is trying to do this slowly, and everybody understands that. But again, you have an AD who has got a new president, and you never know what can happen. But I mean, people are getting, antsy about what's going on, and they're understanding what he wants to do. But is he going to be able to do it? I don't think there's any danger that he's got to worry about right now, to be honest with you. But obviously, with the schedule they have next year, which is even worse than this year's schedule. I mean, it could get to be a point. I mean, Florida's not paying $32 million for a coach to go away after they paid all this money to all these other coaches. Some they're still paying to go away. Florida's dealing with some financial issues right now. Not the university, but the athletic administration, because they just built this $70 million facility, and it wasn't all funded. I mean, some of it was funded by the UF. So on top of that, you're paying for Dan Mullen still. You're not going to get into that. That is no chance of happening, even if they lose out. But next year, you need to see some improvement. There's no doubt about it.
There's a team around 150 miles away from you to the west that has a long history, and up until recently, they weren't very good. As a matter of fact, 2018, they were 5-7. 2019, 6-7. The COVID year, 3-6. The next year, 5-7. Then last year, they were 10-3, and this year they're 4-0. And I'm talking, of course, about Florida State. And I'm curious, from your point of view, how much their resurgence has to do with the current state of the Florida Gators, or is there no impact at all?
I don't think there's any impact on Florida. I think the impact is that people go, well, maybe we should wait and give this guy some time, because, I mean, Mike Norvell was 1-8 in his first 9 road games, and we're all talking about 1-7, 1-5, whatever stat you want to use on Napier. But Mike Napier was 1-8, calls his own plays, inherited a mess. I mean, kind of a similar situation. And, of course, a lot of people, whenever I bring that up, Gator fans, they always go, we don't want to be like FSU. The hell with that. And I'm like, hey, you need to be like FSU for once. You need to give this guy some time. Now, if after year 4 it's not going anywhere, it's clearly not working, okay, I get it. But if you're going to do this, I'm doing the math, 18 games into the season, in his career, then you're just being idiots, which is my term for Gator idiots. And there are a few Gator idiots out there that just go way too far. Yes, nobody's happy with the way the game went last week. Nobody. And if anybody's happy, then they should give up their badges. But you hope this guy, his plan is going to eventually work out. And it's hard because when you're used to winning like Florida's been used to winning, even Napier, even McElwain, even Mullen, even Will Muschamp in his second year won 11 games. So everybody, but that's the trouble. It's been up and down. And then when you go down, guess what? You fire the coach, get a new coach. Now you start at a lower level, and you got to bring it back up. And as soon as you get it up, you got to fire the coach. And there's different reasons for all of them getting fired, but the bottom line is I think Billy Napier is going to 4 years here, even with the new president and everything. I think he's going to have 4 years, but after 4 years, there's got to be a dramatic result. So I don't think there's any question about that. Now, again, we go back to a lot of college football when you go, well, what about Sonny Dykes? What about Brian Kelly? Okay, they didn't inherit the same things, but, Dan Mullen quit recruiting, and it's shown up, and they've got to figure it out. But he is recruiting well. He's doing all the things that we think. I'm trying to put this the right way. He's doing all the things that you would think would matter that don't matter. In other words, players are doing really cool things. They're going out and they're helping people build. They're going to Ronald McDonald House. They're going to people helping build, houses and stuff like that. Nobody cares. We want Urban's players. They kill people. That's literally, I think, where Gator fans are. Where we want people that will come in here and be great players. If they've got baggage, we can live with that. We'll live with that. And I think, in a way, Swamp Kings kind of got them. We hated Urban. We hated Aaron Hernandez. We hate what he brought to the University of Florida. But man, he was good. We hate a lot of these guys that had trouble. We hate Percy Harvin's the best player to ever play at Florida. They would love Percy Harvin back here. As a person, I wouldn't give him 5 cents. Okay.
Jeez.
Great player.
Okay.
Well, there's more you could put on that list, but yes, those two would be up at the top.
Oh, dang.
Sure.
Okay.
Pat,
well, they only had 2 players that kill people. Come on, let's not go too far.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Wasn't good. Pat, appreciate the visit as always. Keep up the good work, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Thank you, sir.
I hope I didn't scare you guys with all that talk about murders and everything.
No, I'm just amazed the all of a sudden the patience in Gainesville. I'm honestly surprised by your answer about Napier. I just felt like, to get 4 years if you're just winning like 6 games. I don't know. I was a little bit surprised by that answer, but you have a better feel than us.
Yeah, and I will tell you that look, people. It's easy to jump on the team that's losing big games, and especially that game. I jumped on them as hard as everybody. But it's easy to jump on teams that aren't being successful, especially in this day and age. But they're going to give him some time. Okay, they're not going to. Obviously, they're not going to give him unlimited amount of time, but they're going to give him some time.
Yep. Pat, have a great weekend. Enjoy the game on Saturday. We'll talk to you down the road.
Okay, great talking to you guys.
All right, that is Pat Dooley. He writes for WRUF.com. He's been covering the Gators for a very long time. We'll come back. We're wide open the rest of the hour, 615-844-5600 if you want to get involved. That's our phone line and our text line. More of the McFarland Show next.
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
There aren't any cops around.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
Hey, I can hold my liquor.
I drink and drive all the time.
If you put away some drinks, put away your keys. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more.
800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. 800-649-0142. That's 800-649-0142.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
This is the Greg Vogue and John Burton Show.
This is the first time I really think that Vrabel got totally outcoached by Stefanski and his staff.
There's a lot of questions about Stefanski and what kind of coach he is and what kind of an in-game adjuster he is, but I thought he did a fabulous job yesterday.
Once again, I just think they all got brain dead yesterday.
You know, I was really surprised how the Titans let that game get out of hand.
Greg Vogue and News Channel 5's John Burton, WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Five-state forecast. Your exclusive National Sports Radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast. Today's going to turn out sunny with a high of 78. A clear, notably chillier night tonight, low 44. Sunny, a cooler day for Saturday, high 64. Sunday, sunny, high 68. Utilizing the resources of the WeatherBug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi. Sports Radio, WNSR.
The McFarland Show. Video streaming live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube from the Strike and Spare studio.
Damon missed us so much, Justin.
He came on in.
He said, I can't take today off.
Good to see him.
It's Damon Keene back in the saddle. Good work by Adam Johnson, but he's been relieved.
Of course.
He's got a high school football game to get to tonight.
Absolutely.
That you'll hear on these airwaves. Let's go to the phones. You guys want to talk, and we want to talk with you. 615-844-5600. Let's start things off with Eric. Eric, what's up?
Hey, guys, I'm going to give you my thoughts on some of the NFL games this weekend.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, I think the Titans are going to win. I think it's going to be a close game, but even though the running back is back, I still think the Titans are going to wind up pulling it out and winning, guys. And now I'm going to get to the Sunday night game.
Let me just say this real quick, Eric.
Yeah.
And we're going to make our picks a little bit later.
Okay.
I can't make up I keep going back and forth. I don't have a great feeling about it. And I don't know why, but I don't have a great feeling about it. But anyway, I'm glad you do.
I mean, I understand it because the Titans have been terrible on the road. That's why a lot of people probably don't think they'll win because they've just been awful on the road. They've not scored a touchdown on the road, so there could be some cause for concern with that. I've just got a feeling they're going to win. I could be wrong. I'm hoping they win, but we'll see.
Okay.
The big game, Dallas at San Francisco, I think the 49ers are winning. I think it's going to be a close game, low scoring. But, guys, I'm sorry. I love Dak, but I don't trust him in these pressure-packed moments because he's not been coming through in the clutch. And to me, if he's throwing the ball more than 30, 35 times in the game, they're in trouble because they have a losing record because he can't overcome stuff when he's constantly throwing the ball. He can't throw you into a game, but he can definitely throw you out of a game, so I just don't trust him. I think another game that's going to be interesting is Philadelphia and the Rams. I think Philadelphia will probably win the game, but it would not surprise me if the game's a shootout, and I would not be totally shocked if the Rams win, especially with them getting Cooper Kupp back. That's just going to be interesting, that game, although I've heard that Matthew Stafford's beat up, and if he is beat up, then that could be a problem.
What is his ribs, I think? So he's going to be playing hurt.
Or his hip or something like
that.
Hip
or ribs, something like that, yeah.
Another team that's interested is Cincinnati. They said that this is a must-win game. I kind of think it is, guys, because Cincinnati plays in Arizona. They really desperately need to win this game.
Joe Burrow said it. Joe Burrow has already said, I'm like, wow.
Yeah, And then they play Seattle at home. But here's the thing, guys. I think they went into both those games because they have a bye. Then after the bye, they have to go to San Francisco and play the 49ers after the bye, which is the best team in the NFC. Then they come back home and play the Buffalo Bills, which is the best team in the AFC, back-to-back. Now, if they lose either or both of these games against Arizona and Seattle, they're done as far as I'm concerned. I think they need to win both of those games to try and get back to 500. Guys, and I'll say this, Baltimore and Pittsburgh, again, you can throw those records out the window. It doesn't matter because it's always a war when these two teams play each other. But somebody threw out an interesting point yesterday I heard on the radio airways, which I didn't realize, but it's accurate. It's not Baltimore's fault because they got nothing to do with this. But do you realize if Kenny Pickett does not play, it'll be the third week in a row the Baltimore Ravens have played a backup quarterback. That's not their fault because they've got nothing to do with the schedule. But, people have been talking about the Cowboys playing rotten teams, and they're just building up the loss on that. Baltimore's injured too, and they've got no control over playing backup teams. But I'll say this again, guys. It doesn't matter to me how much coverage you get in the media. Bottom line is, what do you do on the field and what do you do in the clutch in the playoffs? I don't trust Dak Prescott. I don't trust Josh Allen, and I don't trust Lamar Jackson. And for that narrative for me to change, Dallas has to either get to the NFC Championship or at least the Super Bowl. That changed for me. Buffalo needs to do the same thing, get the Super Bowl. And Baltimore, at least bare minimum, has to get the AFC Championship game. And if none of those things happen, it's just, again, when it comes to playoffs, I'm off all three of those teams. Guys, y'all take care. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you,
All right,
Eric.
Here's Eric.
I think the backup is it still Trubisky for Kenny Pickett?
Yes.
Mitch Trubisky? Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not so sure who to blame because I've already told you Matt Canada is the one they're ready to run out on a rail. Like they're done with Matt Canada in Pittsburgh. So
I haven't watched enough to understand exactly what he's doing so wrong that's got everybody upset. But Pittsburgh is a very, very intelligent football audience. If they're upset, there's a reason. There's a reason why. He must be something that he's doing that has really irritated them.
Like I said, they wanted him gone last year.
Yeah.
So, and they haven't they've gotten off to this start, so things are not good. 615-844-5600. Let's go to Michigan, down in the borough. Michigan, what's up?
Good afternoon, guys. Calling to give you some picks today. I love that Eric called out the Rams versus Philly. If you recall, I gave that out last week I was in Detroit because it was 6.5 last week, and that was the reason I was so interested in it. Is 7 points just seemed like a lot to me. I'm not a huge believer. I know Philly's undefeated. I think they've gotten there by the skin of their teeth. And I watched Matthew Stafford, most of his career in Detroit. He's upright. He's probably going to play. And I love that line. So I'm glad that Eric gave that out. That saves me a little bit of time here.
You also gave out the Bears last week.
I did give out the Bears last week. And
it looked good for most of the game.
And I'll tell you one thing for people who are maybe new to some of this online entertainment only sports proliferation that we have here is I actually was in an airport and because the Broncos were down by so much, took a live line for the Broncos to come back and win that game.
Oh.
So that worked out for me.
Okay.
That got as high as I think when I got it, it was plus 650. So $5 wins you roughly 13, right?
Okay.
I think it got as high as plus 800 because at one point the Bears had the ball up 28-7. So that's a little way that you can kind of juice, your winnings, and definitely where I've gone. So for the year, I did the tabulations. I'm 8-6 on the season, and that's including the cards where I've given you multiple teams to put together at once. So
Okay.
I'm going to give just a couple this week.
All right.
I'm going to start out with college football. I have done a lot of nice business this year in Como on the University of Missouri's football program. Big believer in what I saw out of that team. That was the best game Middle Tennessee State has played all year, still to this point, sadly. That is a team with a lot of fight. On the other side, you have a head coach who I just will never believe in because he is a first-class huckster who faked a Southern accent at a college basketball game. And I will never, ever, ever, ever forget my family, that guy. Kids don't play for that. I'm telling you, they just don't. They don't. So Missouri is currently a dog. If you take Missouri to beat LSU, up up straight up on the money line. It's plus 164. I won on Missouri beating K-State in Como. You will recall that back in, I want to say, week 2.
Yep.
I think they're going to do it again. I don't believe in Jaden Daniels. I've just watched enough Jaden Daniels that I just don't believe in him. I just don't. I think he's going to make bad plays when they need it the most, and I think Missouri is a very smart team. I love, first of all, the name Drinkwitz is just amazing. But I love what Drinkwitz is doing in Missouri.
By the way, that line has
gone
up, so you can get even more value for your Missouri money line real quick.
I like it. Second one, let's go a little bit north to our friends in Louisville, Kentucky, near the Yum Center. Funny aside story, the only game I've ever been at in my life where I got rained on before Titans-Chargers this year was I think it was a Thursday night. Number 2 ranked in the country, Chris Ricks at quarterback, Florida State, went into Louisville, and it was a monsoon. And that is the wettest I've ever been in my life. And don't have me canceled for that. I just mean rain, kids. Louisville, I am going to take over Notre Dame on the money line. Here's my thought process. Notre Dame has played 2 vicious, brutal games back-to-back, one of them on the road that they won literally as the seconds were ticking off the clock. I'm a big believer in Jack Plummer. I don't think Notre Dame has faced a passing offense as good as the one they are about to see. Duke, very built around Riley Leonard. Notre Dame, I like Sam Hartman, but their receivers are not really what butters the bread. It's the play-action game, and it's how physical that offensive line is. I think Louisville is going to spread the field. I think they're going to force Notre Dame to get home with 3 or 4 down linemen. I don't know that they're going to be able to. And I'm just a believer. I'm a believer in the Cardinals this year. I love what they're doing. I like what the program's, being put together. Old boy comes home. Things are going well for Louisville. So give me Louisville. That's plus 198. Really quick NFL. I already gave you Rams plus 6.5 over Philly last week. I think it's down to about 5. You might be able to get a little bit higher. Just depends on what book you're looking at. But I'm going to pair 2 games, and you talked about both of them with my buddy Eric previously. I'm going to put the Colts and the Cardinals together, both to win. I do not like this matchup for the Titans this week. I know Kwity Paye and Shaq Leonard are out. If you watch a lot of Colts, Shaq Leonard hasn't really been a difference maker for about 2 seasons now. Unfortunately, he's been really hurt and kind of had a lot of the starch taken out of what he did. As far as the Cardinals, I just think the Bengals are cooked. I just think they're cooked. I think that bird that's not a fried turkey on Thanksgiving. That's the fried turkey fail videos you watch on YouTube on Thanksgiving. Like that thing's on fire, just got shot into the air. It's going horrible.
Is this Christmas vacation turkey?
Yeah, it's the Christmas vacation turkey. The squirrel's jumping out of the tree. The squirrel's jumping out of the tree any second now. It's going to get Uncle Teddy on fire. Like, just everything's bad in Cincy. And listen, I had no expectations for the Cardinals coming into this year. You know about me, Darren. I got family out there, right? I worked out there for a year. A lot of my family's in the Valley. Nobody was going to pay attention to the Cardinals at all. And here comes Josh Dobbs. And that market loves this guy. The team clearly loves him. Like, we're a couple wins away from asking serious, there's going to be a segment on Get Up if he wins one or 2 more games about whether or not they should get rid of Kyler, because that's all they do on the Worldwide Loser is just, banter about meaningless garbage. But I like the Cards this week, and I really do like the Colts. I just don't like the way the Titans have played on the road this year. And this just feels like a trap, right? They've got some games coming up, including a London game. I just wonder if this is going to be a spot where the Colts just want it more. Doesn't mean that the Colts are going to win the division in the end. But those are my picks for this week. We'll talk to you guys next week. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. And as always, go Blue.
You too, Michigan. Thank you for the call, as always.
Right. There you go.
Boy, it is interesting to have Joe Burrow basically say this is a must-win game. They're 1-3.
Yeah.
It's a 17-game season.
Yeah.
And he's saying this is a must-win game against the Arizona Cardinals.
Well, he knows who's in his division. He understands the neighborhood he lives in. Mm-hmm. And he knows that, Pittsburgh is going to be Pittsburgh. No matter what they look like, they're probably going to be Pittsburgh. And Baltimore is going to be Baltimore. And neither one of those teams are going to win this division with 8 wins. He knows that you got to get 10, 11 wins if you want to compete with the division.
Don't forget Cleveland.
Don't forget Cleveland. And, if you end up at 1-4 what are we talking about? 1-4 here with another loss. That makes it tough. You've got limited ability to get to double-digit wins when you're 1-4.
Their percentage right now is 14% at 1-3.
Yeah.
At 1-4, it's going to go what? Below 10%?
Below 10% there.
Yeah, you're going to be in the single digits percentage of making the playoffs.
And again, I know I've been talking about this a bunch. You can only do these young guns who are looking like future Hall of Famers. Everybody can't win every year. The league, and especially the AFC, is way too loaded. You got Justin Herbert, and then you got Trevor Lawrence down in Jacksonville, and you got Mahomes, and you got Josh Allen, and you got,
Lamar Jackson.
Everybody can't be great every year.
Yep.
It's impossible. They play in the same conference. Some of them play in the same division, and losses are going to be had.
And he's playing hurt.
Yeah.
And by the way, who knows? You may be adding C.J. Stroud.
Maybe.
You may be adding Anthony Richardson. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Business may pick up.
Deshaun Watson can get back to that club.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Crazy to think about it.
Yeah.
But I think he's right. I think it is a must-win. You can't lose that game to Arizona. And your percentages are 8-9% of making the playoffs.
Well, no, not if you're them. You can't lose to Arizona.
Nope. All right, that's going to do it for hour number one. We'll come back. We'll head to Indy. We'll talk to somebody who covers the Colts. We'll learn about what kind of shape they're in for Sunday's game. That's all coming up next.
560 AM, 95.9 FM, Brentwood, Nashville, 107.9 FM, Smyrna, Nashville's first 24-hour sports station. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
ABC News, I'm Marina Roy. As United Auto Workers round out week 3 of their strike against Detroit's Big 3 automakers, UAW President Shawn Fain says they're starting to see progress in talks on wages and issues surrounding the shift to electric vehicles. Ford and Stellantis have agreed to restore cost of living wages back to 2007 standards, and he says GM talks continue.
We have had a major breakthrough that has not only dramatically changed negotiations, but it's going to change the future of our union and the future of our industry.
Employers added 336,000 jobs in September, twice as many as projected. The Fed board is trying to cool the labor market to help tame inflation. That means there could be another interest rate hike. In Colorado, an investigation is underway after authorities found more than 100 decomposing bodies improperly stored at a funeral home. The governor has declared a disaster, and the FBI is flying in help from around the country to begin processing the bodies. This is ABC News.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly, different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Post-COVID travel is on a surge. Many of you are traveling for fun because you've been locked up for 2 years. Listen, whether you're traveling for fun to Italy, Greece, Spain, France, or somewhere else fun in the world, or USA, now is a great time to book before the crowds hit and save. Plus, with a strong U.S. dollar, you'll get more travel bang for your buck. Right now is a smart time to make your reservations and call low-cost airlines. With one phone call, you can let us do all the work for free. We'll shop hundreds of airlines, hotels, resorts, and give you a way to save huge money on your vacation plans. And if you call right now, we'll give you a free hotel room with a qualified travel purchase. So call right now.
800-704-1662. 800-704-1662. 800-704-1662. That's 800-704-1662.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour on this Friday afternoon, rolling along. Darren and Justin here with you. Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Don't forget, every day you can also watch the show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Don't forget, our high school football game of the week tonight will be Fairview at Independence. The coverage will begin at 6:45 tonight here on these airwaves. It'll be Joe Fisher and Jonathan Schaefer on the call. Fairview at Independence. The Titans will be up in Indianapolis to take on the Colts on Sunday. And with that being said, let's head up to Indy and let's talk to somebody who covers the Colts. James Boyd is on the line with us. He does it for The Athletic. And the Titans, James, for two guys that have been covering the Titans since they've been in Nashville, it is weird to say the Titans have won the last 5 straight against Indy, because we remember when Peyton and Andrew Luck were underneath center, we lost count of how many times the Titans lost to the Colts.
It was bad.
But you know what? Things have changed. Things have changed.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, in fact, the Titans haven't lost in Indy since 2018 when they trotted out Blaine Gabbert in that game. And that probably explains why they lost. So what do you make of this current Colts team, James? And we've been talking a lot about Anthony Richardson. We talked a lot about him before the draft. We didn't know if the Titans were going to be a team that was going to be interested in him. Instead, the Colts take him. And I've said all week, I've got to be honest, watching him, he seems to be ahead of schedule. He seems to be better than what I thought, and the team seems to be better than what I thought. What say you?
I agree. I think that when the Colts hired Shane Steichen, it opened the door for the possibility of drafting Anthony Richardson, and he's helped him out a ton. He's really tailored the offense to his strengths, as a dual-threat quarterback. And to Anthony's credit, even beyond just Shane Steichen, I think his floor is higher than I thought it would be coming into the NFL with just 13 college starts. I mean, the kid looks poised, very quick about correcting his mistakes, very humble. The guys in the locker room love him. And then obviously you see some of the talent and just some of the big playability that he's put on display. So very much encouraged by what he's done, and just a lot less rough around the edges than I thought he would be.
Who would you compare him to? Do you guys do that? Do you compare him to somebody else? Like if you were trying to name a quarterback we've already seen at this level, who would you try to compare him to?
I mean, I compare him to an alien, but I think at this, and I say that because this is a real quick story. I played basketball down here at the Jim Irsay YMCA in downtown Indianapolis right before training camp, and guess who was there one day? Anthony Richardson. He showed up, and I'm playing basketball with this guy, and the first play that he's in there, someone throws it from mid-court, he catches it, and just reverse dunks it like it's nothing.
Oh.
And I'm like, this dude is an alien. Now, that probably was the last pickup game of his life, considering that he signed his contract shortly after that, and they probably put a thing in there that says, no longer are you playing basketball, young man.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at comparing him to athletes, he's in that 1% category where he's more athletic than even the athletic guys. And I do think he has a little bit of that Lamar Jackson, that Cam Newton, that Josh Allen, where you can make something happen out of nothing just because sometimes you're going to do things that just can't be taught.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they did put in there no more pickup games at the Y.
Yeah,
I'm sure that was in the contract.
Oh man, I mean, I was terrified to even go near him. I'm like, you're not spraining your ankle near me. No, get away from me.
Doggone right.
I said watching that. Look, they got down 23-0 last week, and they looked like they were done. And the next thing you know, that thing is tied and heading into overtime. They obviously lost in OT, but it was quite the comeback. And I've talked about it here on these airwaves this week of that 2-point conversion play. There's not very many cats in the league that can keep that play alive and make that throw and finish it off, and he did it.
Absolutely not. I asked Jim Bob Cooter, the offensive coordinator, about that, and he was like, sometimes, great players make you look right, and that's what it was, and that's what he gives them. And for a quarter and a half in that Rams game, Anthony Richardson was the best player on the field, and so he has those hot stretches. Now, he also has the other stretches where you're like, man, why did he miss that throw, or what was he thinking on this play? But overall, again, there's a lot more positives than negatives, and it feels like this isn't just some, athlete back there playing quarterback. It's a quarterback making plays. He just happens to be super athletic.
Indy has had their troubles, James, as you know, stopping the run here in the first month of the season. How much does that concern this coaching staff, knowing that is the strength of the Titans offense?
I think it concerns them a lot, quite honestly, and I think it has to do with just where this team is at. I mean, if you want to win this league, you have to be able to take something away, and to beat the Titans, that's what you have to do. The Titans aren't going to fake anything. There's not a lot of, things you have to be surprised by. They're going to hit you in the mouth on offense and defense, and it's how you respond to it. So I think that's definitely, at the top of the board this week. We got to be able to defend the run. We have to be able to stop Derrick Henry. But, I mean, there's a reason why Derrick Henry is one of the greatest running backs ever. It's because people know you have to stop him, and he still does what he does. And over the last, 5 wins against the Colts in this 5-game winning streak, Derrick Henry has had their number. So we'll see if it changes with Shane Steichen and maybe some new personnel, some new schemes, some new philosophies. But at the end of the day, got to hit him in the mouth.
Mike Vrabel today, James, ruled out Traylon Burks, their wide receiver, Luke Gifford, their linebacker, Tier Tart on the defensive line, and has also ruled out Nicholas Petit-Frere. He's been ruled out.
Okay,
so
never
he's
mind.
not going to play.
Never mind.
So those are 4 guys that are contributors for sure in this lineup that Mike Vrabel has ruled out. How are the Colts on the injury front as we sit here today?
So the starting left tackle, Bernard Ryman, was ruled out today with a concussion. The defensive end, Kwity Paye, was ruled out with a concussion as well. Shaq Leonard, he had a groin injury. He's out as well, the linebacker. And the only positive, I guess, for the Colts is that Ryan Kelly, the starting center who missed the last 2 games with a concussion, is coming back and will play this week. And then obviously the elephant in the room is Jonathan Taylor. Will JT be available? I asked Shane Steichen today, hoping that he would make my weekend nice and simple, but he didn't give me anything. He said, we'll see. And he's now been enlisted as officially questionable to play. They do have to activate him to the 53-man roster, which hasn't happened yet. So if that happens tomorrow, that's a good sign that he will play Sunday for the first time since December of 2022.
But he has practiced this entire week, correct?
Yes, he practiced. He was a full participant in all 3 practices this week. Well, I say practices with air quotes. There was a walkthrough Wednesday because of the back-to-back overtime games. They had a walkthrough Wednesday, practice yesterday, practice today. But he was a full participant in all 3 of those things this week, and he looks healthy, man. I was watching him out there. The burst, the speed, all those things is there. It's just, is the football conditioning, those things kind of up to speed.
So my question is this. You talked about Jonathan Taylor, a few moments ago here. And that leads me to the biggest part of, well, not the biggest part, but one of the things that you have to deal with covering the Colts that most NFL beat writers do not, and that is Jim Irsay. What is it like covering Jim Irsay? What is it like covering a team where the owner of the team, not the coach, not the general manager, but the owner of the football team is liable to say almost anything?
It's fun, to be honest with you, and it goes hand in hand because I look at it like this. Will he say some things where you're like, what the heck was that? Yes. But I do respect Jim Irsay from the standpoint of whenever a decision is made, he will speak on it. And you can't say that about every owner in every league, right? So sometimes when fans get frustrated, they're like, we would love to hear from the owner what they have to say about this. They're the ones signing the checks and all that. Jim Irsay will at least speak his mind. Now, he might not always agree, and it might not always help. I mean, quite honestly, it probably didn't help early on in the JT, trade request, contract saga. But at the end of the day, at least he speaks his mind. And just from a personal human being standpoint, I don't think he's a bad person. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's obviously people out here who do things like criminal-wise, and you're like, man, I don't want to cover that. Like, I don't want to go cover the Commanders when they were going through all those things with Dan Snyder. But Jim Irsay, is it a lot of work? Yes. Sometimes we talk a lot. Yes. Will you ask one question, he talks for 3 minutes straight? Yes. But overall, he's a good person, and at least he stands by his decisions and will speak on his decisions.
All right. So my other question about all of that is this: how big of let me ask you this way. Who is the number one division rival for the Colts? From your aspect, like, who is the one division rival that gets the fans fired up and jacked up more than anybody else?
I think it's the Titans right now, quite honestly.
It is with the owner, right?
Yeah, and I was just going to say, I think it comes from the top down. I think that it really bothers Jim Irsay when they lose to the Titans. When they lose any game, he's bothered, but it's because the way the Titans do it, it's not necessarily like the talent gap is a big disparity. It's just that over these last few times, especially, the Titans just have out-toughed them. They've out-uglied them to a win, and I think that's the Mike Vrabel brand. And so in hiring Shane Steichen, as though he's like this analytical guy, this offensive-minded guy, there's a level of toughness and edge that he's brought as well that I think that, Jim Irsay was searching for, because he saw it with, Mike Vrabel, who, in my opinion, no matter who's on the roster every year, he gets the most out of them. Like, are they going to be a great team every year? No, but he's going to maximize it. At the end of the year, you can never say like Mike Vrabel didn't coach his team to the best of his ability to get the most out of them potential-wise.
Earlier in the draft process, we had a gentleman on from Indianapolis who told us that it was quarterback or riot, is what he said. We asked him, what are they going to do with the first-round pick? And he said, it's quarterback or riot. Those are the options. They picked a quarterback. As far as I know, the city of Indianapolis still stands, and there was no riot. My question is this. Are the fans finally settled in? Are they happy? Are they complaining still? Is there any regrets that they wish they had, gone for C.J. Stroud or made a trade or made a move? Or is there any regret, any buyer's remorse at this point?
No. The fans are all in Anthony Richardson. They believe in him. They love his style of play. Now, obviously, that could change if he comes out and has 2 bad games in a row or whatever. You're going to have a few detractors. But overall, I think the majority of the fan base was very happy with the choice. Not having to give up draft capital to go get a player like him, and they feel like if he hits his ceiling, he could be the best player in his class. So no qualms, no issues, nothing of that nature at all. The only issue right now, the hot button issue, is Jonathan Taylor. You have fans who are like, get him out of here if he doesn't want to be here. Was he faking an injury? Was he hurt? Really? Or, what about the contract? Like, that is the stuff that is irritating them right now. But Anthony Richardson is like the most beloved guy in Indianapolis, and if he ran for mayor tomorrow, I'll probably win.
Wow. All right, that popular. What has it been like with Shane Steichen? A guy just kind of getting started with his coaching career. What has that been like for the first little bit with him?
Short and sweet. He does not talk very much to the media. He's not very descriptive. I think today his press conference was like 3 minutes. And I guess it's a Friday.
Wow.
But, yeah, he doesn't say a whole lot. He doesn't give you a lot of fluff, but I actually appreciate that. As a writer myself, I appreciate every coach I ever covered, every player. But sometimes you do get the people who are really, really wordy. They say a bunch of stuff, and it's like you go back through it, and you're like, he didn't say anything. Shane Steichen, if he doesn't have anything to say, he won't say it. And so you have to bring your A game as a reporter and ask good questions to get good answers. But he's been, well received here from our perspective, from their perspective as players. And I think that more than anything, you see who he really is when the game gets turned on. You see the film because he's very creative in his play calling. And he's showing that he is sort of that quarterback guru where he can kind of help guys really, shine with whatever strengths they have, and then also minimize whatever weaknesses they might have.
All right, on the way out, we'll just keep with that theme. What kind of footing is General Manager Chris Ballard on? Is he in good standing? Where are we at with the GM?
I think he's in pretty good standing right now, and that's because of Anthony Richardson. I think what he's shown through the first month of the season, they feel like they have a potential superstar on their hands, and we all know if it comes the end of the year or early next year, you're like, you know what, this guy's a player. Kind of like how Trevor Lawrence was. He was the number one pick. It was a little bit different, but it was like that first year it was kind of shaky. Different coach. They get the new coach in there. Oh man, he's a guy. He looks like a franchise quarterback. If they get to that point with Anthony Richardson, then I believe all is forgiven with Chris Ballard if they hit on a quarterback.
We've got televisions here in our studio. One of the televisions is on NFL Live. They just made their picks.
Split.
Four panelists. 2 took the Titans. 2 took the Colts. James, what's your gut feeling on this game?
I'm going Colts 24-20 because of the Anthony Richardson factor. I think that he has that big play ability that, make something out of nothing type of thing. And I think if he does that once or twice in that game, it could swing the momentum. But I don't think it's going to be easy at all, and I expect the Titans and Derrick Henry to bring it.
If you're wrong, we'll have you on again. If you're right, we just want to say thanks for it, and we probably won't have you on.
No,
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Please have me on again. I enjoy being told how bad I was. I enjoy the banter, the smoke. Tell all the Titans fans what I chose and let them call me a homer. I enjoy it all. I'm just
messing with you. Hey, good visit. Really appreciate it. Thanks for doing this. We'll talk to you down the road.
All right, you all have a good one.
All right, you too. James Boyd will be covering the game for The Athletic on Sunday up in Indianapolis when the Colts and the Titans do battle. Titans looking for the 6th straight win against Indy.
That seemed almost impossible a couple years ago. It
Sure
really
did.
did. I mean, this thing seemed like it was never coming back their way.
Yeah.
They seemed to be just this unreachable goal, the Colts were at the time. So it's just, you wait around long enough and things will swing back.
Fun interview, by the way. Good stuff by him. All right, we're wide open the rest of the hour if you want to get involved. A lot on your mind as we go into the weekend. 615-844-5600 is the phone line and the text line. More of the McFarland Show next.
And now, Green Quality Painting LLC is reminding Americans to show support for the brave men and women who serve our U.S. military. Please visit DAV.org and consider donating to the disabled U.S. veterans who need our help. This message is brought to you by Green Quality Painting LLC, serving Clarksville, Nashville, and the surrounding areas with several years of experience. For all your residential or commercial painting and staining needs, give the pros a call today at 385-261-6543. 385-261-6543. That's Green Quality Painting LLC. They're professionals who care.
I've got a unique vacation idea for you that's right here in the United States. If you're ready for a vacation that's fun and downright affordable, listen up. It's driving distance for many of you, so no planes, no airline delays, no hassles. It's Branson, Missouri, the entertainment capital of the Midwest. Live music for everyone. Branson has 3 beautiful, enormous lakes, water attractions, live shows, great food, and tons of entertainment. It's a perfect vacation for you and your family, or if you're retired and you want to have a great time. And you can stay in Branson for as low as $99 a night. Please understand, this is not a timeshare offer. It's a real vacation for as little as $99 a night. We've got a free vacation guide we want to send you right now. All you have to do is call for complete details. Get your free Branson, Missouri guide right now by calling this number.
800-413-3953. 800-413-3953. 800-413-3953. That's 800-413-3953.
Bob's Steak and Chop House, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel, is a nationally renowned steakhouse specializing in the finest corn-fed Midwestern prime beef. The menu formula is simple: incredible meat, gigantic shrimp, fabulous salads, and decadent desserts. Start your experience at Bob's with the fried calamari or fresh scallops seared in Texas burnt honey. All the beef at Bob's Steak and Chop House are USDA prime cuts, from the traditional filet filet of tenderloin and ribeye to the adventurous Kansas City bone-in strip. They even have 2 different surf and turf options. And if you're looking for the other white meat, Bob's Steak and Chop House serves a dry-aged pork tomahawk with homemade applesauce. Fresh seafood is on the menu, from salmon to scampi, and even fresh lobster tail. For reservations, give them a call or log on to the Omni Nashville Hotel website. Bob's Steak and Chop House at the Omni Nashville Hotel.
1, 2, it's coming for you. 3, 4, you could win much more. 5, 6 on a scratch ticket. 7, 8, it's not too late. The new Haunted Jumbo Bucks instant game with a top prize of $75,000. It's a terrifyingly great way to celebrate Halloween. Only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Just remember to play responsibly. 9, 10, time to play again.
It's the NFL on Sports USA, and we're in the Mile High City as the New York Jets fly into Denver to take on the Broncos. The Broncos and Russell Wilson can gallop into the end zone with Williams, Sutton, or Jerry Jeudy.
Touchdown, Denver, Jerry Jeudy.
Gang Green has Hall and Cook in the backfield, and making catches, the dynamic Garrett Wilson. It's the Jets at the Broncos this Sunday on Sports USA.
Coverage begins at 3 p.m. live on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Text the Strike and Spare studio now at 615-844-5600. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Been a lot of weirdness with Chase Claypool. Bears get a huge win at Washington last night.
Sure do.
Just dominate the Commanders. No Chase Claypool. DJ Moore was off the charts. 230 yards, 3 touchdowns. Claypool was not even active, and they dumped him in Miami's lap.
Healthy scratch.
Yeah, they shipped him to Miami. They gave up a 7th-round pick, and they got a 6th in return.
Yeah.
That was it.
Last year, they gave up a 2nd-round
yes, they
pick.
Did. Yeah.
But, and I've been listening to a lot about that, particular topic there. A lot of people want to give the Chicago GM some credit in that he saw it was a mistake and didn't try to fix it and just bailed on it.
Yeah.
Got it out of his locker room, got it out of his, off his roster, and, it's going to be somebody else's issue now. As he got to eat it, he's got to eat it. But, he's acknowledging that, that's my bad. My bad, y'all.
And
I
by the
shouldn't
way,
have done that.
Claypool could probably help Miami with all those weapons.
Man.
I mean, that's just another weapon for Tua.
If he can fix whatever's going on with him, like whatever
Right.
the issue is.
Right.
And there's a lot of weirdness in Chicago this year anyway. So, but whatever's going on, if he can get on the field.
Miami, South Beach tends to help that mood.
Yeah.
Get you in a better mood.
They're happier people down there typically.
And they're a better team. So let's go to Tony. Tony, what's up?
Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
Hope y'all have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. But Justin, you just said something and made me think of a different angle. You said a lot of weirdness going on in Chicago. Well, is it transcending from the Cubs to the Bears?
Well, no. The Bears have their own separate, kind of thing, weirdness that was going on from the Cubs. No, I don't think the two are related.
The National League Central didn't. It was disposed of pretty quick.
It's
when Arizona
so weird
beat
in
the Cubs,
Chicago that the Bulls came to Belmont to do their
How
camp.
about that?
That's how weird it is in Chicago.
Get rid of that
That's
juju.
true. Good point. And when the Diamondbacks beat the Cubs 6 games out of 7 in that little 2-week deal, I knew then the Diamondbacks were a pretty good team. You could just see that. So, guys, and speaking of Chicago,
Milwaukee agrees with
losing Dick Butkus. I growing up as a kid, so many great linebackers back in the 60s and 70s. I wrote a little list out, just Butkus, Mike Curtis, Willie Lanier, Jack Lambert, Ray Nitschke, Tommy Novus, Ted Hendricks. Sam Huff, Bobby Bell, Leroy Jordan. The list was endless.
Jack Ham.
Endless.
There you go.
Jack Ham. You just keep going and going and going. And, it's just it was such a great era for linebackers. Not to say, all eras got great ones, but just that era. As indicative, the linebacker award's named after Dick Butkus,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And didn't you find it interesting that he was born in, I think, Chicago, grew up there, and then played at Illinois, and then played for the Bears?
Yeah.
He's
the most Illinois Illinois you can be.
By the way, let's see if this theme continues. In fact, I may give that one out. I'm gonna dabble with it. I should have done it last night. I beat myself up because I don't know why. I was like, the Bears. I should have done something with the Bears last night. Illinois plays tonight at home against Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
So do the Bears win last night for Dick Butkus? Does Illinois win tonight for Dick Butkus? I kind of feel like they will.
Point.
Interesting.
I feel like they will.
There'll be a lot of spirit.
I will go with Illinois tonight.
Yeah.
I'll go with them tonight.
I think I'm going to dabble with Illinois tonight.
Matt Rule's been making promises,
I think that's a
though.
good idea because I think, I just firmly believe, like I say, I've been a part of it before, but you see when teams lose a player, the inspiration that goes through a team is unbelievable how inspired they get. It's an adrenaline rush. I'm not going to let my man down. We're going to get it for, it's so win-win for the Kipper deal. And when you see that type of stuff, it's just something special that goes on inside a team when players stand up and they're going to throw everything they've got out on the line, playing and sacrificing for that teammate that's either they lost or anything of that nature. And like I say, the Bears the other night played the way they did. Guys, something I don't have a dog in the hunt on this, but I've got several friends I've talked to the last couple of days. I don't know if y'all touched on this much, but is it time maybe Stockstill steps away from middle the guy's had such a great career there. He's been good for Middle Tennessee. I'd hate to see it sour on him. If they're going to cut the cord on him, I'd rather see him step down if that was going to happen. You could see the other night in the post-game interview, the frustration, the disgust, the hurt that he was feeling over them losing that particular game the way they did after losing a player in that game also. But I was going to get y'all's opinion on that, and because I'm hearing it from some of my friends that are Middle Tennessee season ticket holders, and they're just like, we need a change. This becomes stale. So I was going to get y'all's opinion on that. So, guys, have a great weekend. Let y'all talk about that. And the last is, I think the Colts get the Titans. Titans hadn't showed me much of being on the road yet other than getting beat. So I've got the Colts 24-17 over the Titans. Hope I'm wrong.
Okay. Tony, have a great weekend.
See you, guys.
Well, obviously, we had several MTSU callers on yesterday's show, MTSU grads that were frustrated. I brought it up several times on yesterday's show, saying I was hearing from Middle fans on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and my text. I was getting personal text from MTSU grads who either live here or live somewhere else. And it was a different vibe. I mean, they were not happy. And I said, on one hand, I was actually glad to see a lot of interaction on Twitter when I put stuff out there about the game, and interaction on a personal note with text, because I bring that up to say, at least they care.
Yeah.
At least they have a pulse.
Some passion.
Right? At least there's not. The worst thing ever is
apathy.
Apathy, right? That just means you just don't give a flip, and you've checked out. That's the worst. And I didn't get that vibe at all. I was actually encouraged to see that so many people were disgusted, disappointed, or mad, or whatever their feelings were. It wasn't good. It looked like they were going to be inspired from the unfortunate injury that was really tough to watch. They're up 23-7 at the half, and then just the wheels came off in the second half. I mean, came off, and it was at home. And I know the crowd wasn't very much there. It didn't look like there was very many people there. It was a blackout game. It was a game that was on, CBS Sports? No, ESPNU.
No, ESPNU.
ESPNU.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacksonville State just took over the game, and now Middle's 1-5 to start off the season. So I don't know. I mean, what's the deal with Stock's contract? Doesn't he have a contract where if he just gets to 6 wins a season, it gets a year, gets another extension or something like that? He signed that many, many years ago. I haven't gone back and checked up on what the status was on. It just felt like if he goes to a bowl or wins 6 games or bowl eligible, he gets another year on his contract or something.
Yeah, and he's been bowl eligible in the last 2 years for sure.
One last year.
So, I mean, listen, I mean, for me, this is all about what does the MTSU fan base, whomever they may be, as Bill King, who was on with us yesterday, mentioned, it's a commuter school. Okay.
It's always been a suitcase school.
It's not UT Knoxville. It never is going to be. It's not, even Kentucky, and it's never going to be. It is what it is. So the question that Blue Raiders fans have to ask themselves is, who do we want to be? And then who's going to get us there? And I don't think there's a solid consensus among Blue Raider fans other than they want to be better than 1-5. Well, yes, that's a good place to start. But do you want to be, conference champions every year? Do you want to be 8-3, 9-4? I mean, who is it that you want to be as a program? Do you want to put a guy in the NFL every year? Do you want to switch conferences and grow the product to a bigger conference? Do you want to?
They have switched conferences.
Well, yes,
and I'm not sure it grew.
But that's the point. To what extent do you want to grow to where exactly? Like, where do you want to be? What's the long-term vision for MTSU football, and what do you want it to be? And once you understand that, then you can go about trying to do it. But I don't think the fan base at MTSU has really, in my opinion, has really sat down and wrestled with that question for a long enough time to understand what they really want, other than not being 1-5, which is pretty easy not to be 1-5. But if they were 3-3, would you be good? If they were 4-2, would you be all right? Like what's the definition? What's the mountaintop? Or are you just okay making a bowl every other year? Because if you are, then they're doing fine then. So he didn't make a bowl this year. Okay, well, he's made a bowl the last 2 years. So what? He's got a down year. He won them both. He's got a down year. He'll rebuild, restock, and try it again. I mean, so it depends on what it is that you want.
I think there's some layers that you're leaving out. I thought that was well said. I think from just feedback that I've gotten from Blue Raider fans, he's been there a long time. He's coming up on 2 decades, and I believe he's only won, one outright conference championship? They've been in the Sun Belt, and now they're in Conference USA.
Yeah.
So I think
he won a Sun Belt title.
I think he tied. I said outright.
Okay. I
think he tied a Sun Belt conference and has won outright a Conference USA. So, I think I've heard that feedback as, wow, you've been there that long and you've won one conference title. What does that really mean, Justin? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, what does that get you, conference title? I mean, I get it. I mean, everybody wants to win their conference, but I don't really know where you put that in the pecking order. I think the other thing is, and I think I did bring this up, and I've certainly heard from this, and you say, is Western really a rival? Yes, it is. And it's been a rival for a long time. Western seems to be a pretty good gap between Western and Middle right now in their program. Is that fair to say?
I think so.
I mean, if you think about Jeff Brom and now Helton, that's about 10 years?
Yeah.
That's about a decade worth of football where Western has been they've been considerably better than your program. And that's your big rival. And, oh, by the way, they're in your conference. So I do think that one probably bothers Middle fans, that their big rival seems to be pretty far ahead of them in football. Or I don't know what the right amount is. There's a gap, okay? There's a gap and the rival's ahead. Is that the best way to put it?
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't know if I should say sizable. I don't know what the right way to present it. There's a gap, and your rival's ahead of you in the gap.
Yes.
And that probably doesn't sit well with a lot of them either.
Probably not. And, listen, I just looked up Coach Stockstill's overall record in 18 seasons. Coach Stockstill is currently...
It's probably around 500.
Dead on. He's 110 and 108.
Yeah.
So he's 2 games over. But he's been to 10 bowl games. And some of the bowl games, listen, the Music City Bowl, the Motor City Bowl, the New Orleans Bowl, the GoDaddy.com Bowl, the Armed Forces Bowl, the Bahama Bowl, the Hawaiian Bowl, another New Orleans Bowl, another Hawaiian Bowl, another Bahamas Bowl. Listen, if he's been there 18 years, he's been to 10 bowl games, that means more times than not, you have a winning season, and more times than not, you're going bowling. And now, if that's okay with you, then you can keep going down the path you're going. If you want more than that, you want more than 500, you want more than 6-6, and wherever they've been over the last few years. This year they're 1-5. Last year 8-5. The year before that 7-6. I see a couple of losing seasons before that 8-6, 7-6, another 6-6, 8-5. If that seems to be kind of the ceiling. And if you're okay with that, I see we're going all the way back to 2009. They were 10-3. He's got one double-digit win season at 10-3. And that was 2009 that he was 10-3. So it depends on what you want. Again, if you're okay with what I just read, then fine. And some people are. Let me tell you something. The people at Vanderbilt, they would love to have gone to 10 bowl games in the last 20 years. They haven't. But they would love to have gone to 10 bowl games.
Yeah. They're in the SEC.
And then there's that. And then there's that.
Yeah.
So it just depends on who you are and what you want out of the program. And again, I don't know if MTSU fans have had a heart-to-heart with each other, about what they want out of the football team.
Well, I just saw Damon light up. Now I know why. Kenny the Mailman's on the line. Kenny, what's up?
Greetings, good friends. How are y'all?
Great. How are you?
Excellent. It's been a wonderful day of delivery on the mean streets of Belmead.
Watch out for the deer.
Good thing you have a day job.
You know what? Zai, if I share a couple of Dick Butkus moments with you since he passed away.
Yes, sir.
First of all, I think I'm correct. I think the Bears got he and Gale Sayers in the same draft. Is that not amazing?
What? I think Gale was, one pick ahead of him? Is that right?
I think. But I think it was the same year. So if you pull 2 guys like that out of the same year, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I don't remember if they were separated by a year, if it was the same draft, but obviously they drafted Gale Sayers and they drafted Dick Butkus. That's pretty amazing.
That is true. Dick Butkus was the number 3 overall pick in the 1965 NFL draft. Then with the very next pick, the Chicago Bears picked Gale Sayers.
Oh, so Butkus went before him.
Yes.
I
Butkus
went 3. Sayers went 1 before
Butkus went 3.
Okay.
Sayers went 4.
Okay. Wow. That's a pretty
good. And they also got the running back out of South Carolina that they made the movie about that year.
Brian Piccolo.
Yeah. That was amazing. But I saw this about a month ago. It was an hour-long show on Dick Butkus on the NFL Network, and they're going to show it over and over this weekend. But they were interviewing Fran Tarkington, and they even had video of this where the Vikings were ahead by 2 touchdowns with a couple of minutes to go. This shows you how football games have changed. And the Vikings threw a pass, and it shows Butkus pointing at him and making a breaking symbol. And they said, well, what was he saying to you? And he said, he told me if I throw another pass, he's going to break my neck. The next play, they called another pass, and he just threw it out of bounds, Targeted did, and just started running backwards, and the play was over. And Butkus chased him 40 yards. It's a video of it. It was like 3 or 4 Vikings linemen chasing Butkus, who's chasing Tarkington. They're not making up any distance, but they're not losing ground, and it looks like the Three Stooges. And later that year, Tarkington said, the place used to go, it was called like the Rubber Chicken Circuit, where they would make speeches in the off season to make money. and he was scheduled to be on the same program as Dick Butkus. He put about 5 guys between him. He wouldn't sit near Butkus. And while Tarkenton was speaking, Butkus was leaning forward and making that breaking symbol and not smiling. He said he was you just don't hear things taken to that extreme this day and age, but that was as funny as it got.
Yeah, he would have a hard time dealing with today's game.
A lot of them have the same agents, and 2 years later they're on the same team, so I don't think they carried as much animosity.
Yeah, well, true. Yeah. There is that, too.
Yeah. Well, y'all have a great afternoon.
Thank you, Kenny.
Bye-bye.
You too. Have a great weekend.
Appreciate
it. I thought he was going to say he delivered mail to Dick Butkus. Like maybe Dick Butkus had a house in
Never
Nashville
know.
Or Belmead.
By the way, that 65 draft, the number 12 overall pick, some guy named Joe Namath was picked by the St. Louis Cardinals in that draft.
You're saying that was a pretty good draft.
Pretty good draft.
Yeah, not bad. All right, we'll come back. We'll come back with the McFarland 6-pack of picks. We do this every Friday. We'll do that next.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in Tennessee needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Switch to Boost Mobile and get the ultra-smooth, ultra-powerful iPhone 11 for $49.99.
He didn't stutter.
See every angle with dual cameras.
Make it a double.
All on America's largest 5G networks.
Large and in charge, baby.
Get with the power of Boost and get the iPhone 11 for $49.99.
That's half a Benjamin.
Boost Mobile.
Unleash your power.
ID verification required. New customers only at 1 per line. Additional restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com for details.
Welcome back to Total Wine. What brings you in today?
Hey, Ruthie. I need help filling the ultimate beach cooler.
Well, we have the most hard seltzers and amazing canned cocktails anywhere, like High Noon, Cutwater, White Claw, Truly, Topo Chico, Jack Daniels & Coke, Neutral Vodka Seltzer, and Cayman Jack Zero Sugar Margarita in cans.
Wow. I'm going to be the king of the cooler.
And we have them at the lowest prices in town. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is at the heart of Music City. Located within walking distance of the Country Music Hall of Fame, Bar Lines at the Omni is your downtown honky-tonk destination. Watch your team from any seat on their plentiful HD TVs and catch a live show on the Bar Lines stage featuring live music 7 days a week. Bar Lines has the ultimate Southern comfort food. Get started with classic fried green tomatoes or bourbon barbecue wings. Then it's on to the massive Smashville double stack or the world famous Bar Lines grinder. Oh, you've never heard of the Bar Lines grinder? 2 kinds of cheese, lettuce, Dijon, smoked turkey, smoked bacon, smoked ham. Now that's some smoke you want. Local brews and local spirits are on tap at Bar Lines. Take a seat on the patio outside and soak up the rhythm of Music City. Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. The package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. Visit starleasing.com to learn more.
It's the NHL season opener on Sports USA, and we're in the City of Lights as the Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights host the Seattle Kraken. The Kraken will bring skaters like Shore, Gord, and Belmar to fire the puck. The Knights will defend the fortress with Aiden Hill between the pipes. It's the NHL opener with the Kraken at the Golden Knights this Tuesday. On your home for the NHL playoffs and Stanley Cup, Sports USA.
Coverage begins at 9 p.m. live on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Titans fans, Preds fans, we have you covered. The McFarland Show.
Fairview at Independence tonight. That's our high school game of the week, 6:45. Coverage begins. Be Joe Fisher and Jonathan Schaefer on the call. Be listening for that. It is time for the McFarland six-pack of picks. Right. What a week for us last week.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I went 4-2 and was the loser.
Yeah.
4-2 and was the loser. I had...
Could be a little harder this week here.
Florida against Kentucky. That was a loser. You had Kentucky. We both had Missouri, winners. I had Tennessee. You had South Carolina, so I won that. We both had the Bills. We both had the Ravens. I took Cincy. You took the Titans. So I went 4-2, my best week so far. You went 5-1.
Yeah.
Your best week so far.
Would have made some money, babe, if you're listening.
Yeah.
But
sure would have.
But no, we're still not gonna enter the pool. The actual real dollars, we're not gonna do that.
It didn't inspire you to get to your phone?
No, because it giveth and it taketh away.
That's how it works, yeah.
Yeah.
It never just keeps giving.
No.
But nonetheless, congratulations.
Thank you.
By the way, I would have won too with 4-2.
Yeah,
that's a winning week. It's a winning week. All right. Let's start with the big one. Red River rivalry.
Red River rivalry.
Red River rivalry between Oklahoma and Texas.
Yeah.
They're playing that game in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl. I've been to the Cotton Bowl, not to see a football game, see a hockey game.
Okay.
But
seen the outside, never been to the actual, inside the stadium, but down there for the Texas State Fair one year.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's right outside it, and that was there as well. In fact, it was really sad. Like a Predators fan collapsed and died in that area around the Winter Classic.
Jeez.
No, I know. It was really weird because I was getting texts from people. My wife and kid were there, and there were others, friends of ours that lived down there. They were Preds fans, and they were like, man, something's going on in the fairground area. And yeah, somebody unfortunately had, I think they had a heart attack and died. It was bad.
Sad.
So anyway, Oklahoma and Texas, the game in Dallas, that'll be at 11 a.m. to get things started tomorrow on ABC.
Okay.
Texas is a 5.5-point favorite.
Give me the Longhorns.
Give you the Longhorns.
Give me the Longhorns. They've had a great year thus far. Could it be that, Texas has been the sleeping giant of college football for a long time. We've been all waiting for them to come back to being kind of what they've been, and maybe they are. Maybe this is the year where they are big bad Texas again. But I'm going to roll with them. Give me Texas.
Okay, I will take Oklahoma in the points.
Okay,
it's a big rivalry game. I'll just take any time in that game. If you're getting 5.5 points, I'll take the points.
Okay, fair enough.
And I've been very impressed with Texas, but I'll take the points. All right, Alabama down in College Station, Kyle Field, the Aggies, and Alabama. That's the 2:30 CBS game.
Uh-oh.
That game is a pick'em. Standing room only. Standing room only for that game.
Oh. Why'd it have to be a pick'em? Give me Bama. Give me Nick Saban. Listen, it's if you bet on Nick Saban a lot, you're probably going to make more than you lose. So give me Nick Saban. Give me Bama. They find a way to win the game because they're never as bad as they seem to be. So give me Bama.
All right, I need to ask you a question.
Okay.
So I did these lines this morning.
Okay.
And the line was 1. It was Alabama by 1, but we got to have the hook. We got to have the half.
Okay.
Because we don't want pushes. Okay?
Sure.
So I just pushed it down to a pick'em because it's in College Station.
Okay.
The line is now Alabama by 2.5, so that's a lot of movement. So do we need to change it? What's going on? Right.
Somebody's hurt. Somebody's not going to play.
That is a lot of movement since this morning. Money is going heavy on Alabama.
Somebody knows something.
So do we need to change it, or how do you feel about that? Does that change your pick?
No, because I'm going to pick Alabama anyway.
Even minus 2.5?
Yeah, because that Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so what do you want to do? Do you want to do -2.5 or do you want to do a
Let's do
pick 'em?
-2.5.
Okay.
And I'm going to roll with Bama still.
So it'll be A&M +2.5. I too will go with Bama. I'm not sure why the money is coming in on Alabama. What do we not know? But nonetheless, it is. So I'll take Bama. One more on the college, and then we'll come back and do the 3 pro games.
All right.
Kentucky at Georgia down in Athens. By the way, that I said that game is the 2:30 CBS game. The game at Georgia is 6 o'clock kickoff on ESPN, and Georgia is favored by 14.5.
Whew. Boy. Tell you what, give me the Wildcats. Give me Kentucky. Kentucky's been good to me here. Let me try for Kentucky here. I think they've got a tough team, and I think they can slow Georgia down a little bit with their run game.
Thank you. That's where I was going. They can run the football.
They can.
I think they have an opportunity to keep this thing close.
Can they control the line of scrimmage, though? I mean, yeah, they've got the running back. Do they have the lineman?
And can they cover Brock Bowers? Can they do that?
Can anyone?
I don't know if anybody can do that. I'll take the 14. I thought that was a little steep,
it
quite
is.
honestly.
But
so
it's in
I'll
Georgia,
take the
so.
points. Yep, it is. And it's between the hedges. It'll be at night, so it'll be a great atmosphere. But we'll both take Kentucky. All right, we'll come back. We'll do the 3 pro games and call it a day, call it a week. You're listening to the McFarland Show, Nashville Sports Radio.
In a single moment, everything can change. When a player's sudden cardiac event brought a national football game to a halt, it shone a spotlight on the importance of CPR readiness. Now, with youth sports in full swing, the American Heart Association is rallying parents and coaches to be ready in an emergency. To be ready, learn hands-only CPR. It's a skill anyone can learn in minutes. Visit heart.org/hands-only-CPR and become a lifesaver today.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-898-6155 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-898-6155. That's 800-898-6155. What do you have to lose? Call 800-898-6155. Again, 800-898-6155.
When you've experienced the loss of a loved one, you can trust SAG Funeral Home to guide you through the process of honoring their life. At SAG Funeral Home, they pride themselves in serving families in Nashville and surrounding areas with dignity, respect, and compassion. The staff is experienced in a variety of funeral services and can help you celebrate your loved one, no matter your religion, culture, or budget. Family and veteran-owned funeral home and cremations now are handled all in one location. We'll help create a personalized experience to pay tribute to your loved one's unique life. Ask about the pre-planning service as well. SAG Funeral Home, serving Nashville and Middle Tennessee for over 40 years. In your time of need, you need someone you can trust who can provide comfort to your family in a very professional way. SAG Funeral Home, 1503 Buchanan Street. Call today, 615-244-5044. 615-244-5044. SAG Funeral Home, for comfort and care in your time of need. SAG Funeral Home, proud sponsor of TSU football on WNSR.
Quick, convenient, efficient. 3 words that we all hope to experience when we do business. Our goal at JHA Company is to bring just that to an industry that's traditionally dictated to the customer when it's time to do business. Whether you're purchasing class pictures in a yearbook, class jewelry, a letter jacket, school spirit wear, or senior graduation products, we strive to make the experience quick, convenient, and efficient. Find out more at jhacompany.com. JHA, your one source for an unparalleled scholastic experience.
The Tennessee State Tigers hit the road again this coming Saturday with a trip to play at Kennesaw State, a team making a move next season to the FBS level and Conference USA membership. Hello, this is Greg Pogue inviting you to join former Titans wide receiver Chris Sanders and me on the game broadcast Saturday right here on Nashville Sports Radio, WNSR. Pre-game 1:30, kickoff at 2. That's Tennessee State. At Kennesaw State, from Kennesaw, Georgia, Saturday, right here on Nashville Sports Radio, WNSR.
You're listening to The McFarland Show live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
McFarland's six-pack of picks we do every Friday. Let's go to the pros. Titans at Indy. Colts getting 2.5. What say you, Justin?
Yeah. Let's go with the Titans here. The Titans find a way to get it done. They win the road game. They win the division game. They know it's important. Mike Vrabel wins these division games.
I told you I don't have a good feeling about it. It's in Indy. Indy's getting 2.5. I'll take the Colts and the points.
Okay.
Ravens at the Steelers. Steelers getting 3.5 in Pittsburgh.
Give me the Ravens. Give me the Ravens. I don't know what's going on at quarterback for the Steelers, and I don't trust it. Give me the Ravens. That's hard though. The game is that's
hard.
That's a tough one.
I'll take the Steelers and the points.
Okay.
And finally, Cowboys in San Francisco to take on the 49ers. By the way, Denver has traded Randy Gregory to the 49ers. I don't know if he's going to suit up and play against his former team, which will be interesting. Cowboys in San Fran to take on the 49ers. That's the big one Sunday night, 3.5.
Yeah, it's the 49ers.
49ers by 3.5.
49ers win. 49ers win, and they win by more than 3.5. I'm going with the 49ers.
I'm shocked. Are you sure? Do you need to think about that?
No, I'm not.
You're going against Dallas.
Me? Yes.
Yeah. Really?
Yes, I am. Yes. Okay. Because, Dallas is not trustworthy, as I've said. And even if they win this game, they still won't be trustworthy. So, it's fine. Yeah, give me the 49ers. Best team in football.
If Dallas wins, Eric will be on hold, probably starting at about noon.
He can call in
for our game.
That's fine.
For our show.
He can say what he wants to say. Do not trust. Do not believe. So that's
I will
fine.
take Dallas and the points. Dallas and the points.
All right. In San Francisco. Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
You've already been burned by the
Plus
Cowboys
3.5.
already this year.
Plus
You sure you
3.5.
want to keep going back? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then.
Predators have their final preseason game tonight in Carolina after beating the Hurricanes last night. Next week, it'll be the regular season. It'll be on.
Next Thursday, right? Open up.
No, Tuesday.
Tuesday, okay.
Tuesday.
Thursday's the home opener, right?
Tuesday away, Thursday home.
Okay.
Enjoy your weekend. Get used to getting cool at night. Woo! We'll have lots to talk about on Monday starting at 2 o'clock. Bill Keene will get the action started at 6, followed by Greg and John, 9 to 11, and then us at 2 o'clock. Have a good one. We'll talk to you then.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
Show rocking and rolling right here on CBS Sports Radio on the free Odyssey app, Sirius XM channel 158, and of course in the YouTube chat. We have a great community of people. If you want to check out the show on YouTube, you can always check the link on my Twitter page @Zach Gelb and enjoy the wonderful conversation and the wonderful